Today I'm going to give you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that logo! Welcome to this edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Dudley, and I am the Comic Hero. Now, the summer of superheroes continues, and you probably heard at the beginning that I left out some segments of the show. There's a reason for that, and that's because starting on this episode through every episode of the month of August, the Comic Hero Show will be airing not once, but twice a week. And there are two reasons behind that. First, in the 2 weeks that I have been doing the show, I got carried away and made a whole bunch of superhero tees, more than, I mean, one thing about me, y'all know that I read a lot of comics. Y'all know that there are a lot of characters who I love. And all of a sudden my creative juices got flowing, and I ended up making a whole bunch of superhero tees. And it wasn't just tees representing one book. It was tees. It was just characters in general. Like, I just couldn't live with just making an X-Men tee. I ended up making some tees representing certain members of the X-Men, and then also made some Fantastic Four tees. I couldn't live with myself if I only made one representing all four. I made four representing each member. In other words, Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman, the Thing, and the Human Torch. And I want to feature as many of them as I can. And throughout the summer, with the exception for the tees I'm wearing next week, I'm going to set up polls so y'all can help me decide on what tees to wear. Now, the way I'm doing it is are the tees that get the most votes will be the tees that I wear on the first episode of the week. The tees that get the least amount of votes will be the tees that I wear later in the week. That way, regardless of whatever tee you vote for, everyone wins. Now, the reason why I'm not going to have y'all vote for a tee for next week's episodes is because of this. Next week is the 4th of July week. And I've already decided what tees I'm going to wear for that episode. For the early part of the episode, I'm going to wear a Captain Marvel tee, because everyone knows that Carol Danvers, who is Captain Marvel, is Air Force. And then for the latter part of the week, I'm going to wear a Captain America comic hero tee, because it's close to the 4th of July, and Steve Rogers was, and always will be the Star-Spangled Man with a plan. And the second reason that I'm doing this is because I ended up, even though I have been doing the show for the last 2 weeks, I still bought comics, and I want to feature every one that I bought. So here's how the 2 episodes a week through August are going to be segmented. On the earlier week, I'm going to feature a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and then Comically Speaking, and then Comic Books Up Off this week. And then in the latter episode of every week, I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, debut a brand new series a brand new segment called The Book of the Week, where I handpick any of the books that I read, let y'all know what's going on in them and what I like about them. And then Comic Books Up Off this week. And that's pretty much it. Now, doing the 2 episodes is not permanent. Like I said, it's going to be throughout the month of August. So, yeah. Now, because this is the early episode of the week, I'm not going to give away a free t-shirt. However, I'll let you know what the free tea question of the week is. And before I ask this, I asked this question in episode 256, and the way I asked it, I confused a lot of folks. So I decided to revise it and then ask it in a way that y'all might understand. All right, here's the question. What is the Asgardians' rite of passage to any of the other 9 realms? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a tea on episode 258 of the Comic Hero Show, which is the episode I'm doing later this week. All right, now D'Angelo Ballou from Youngstown, Ohio has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one features a nuclear man going up against a man who could shrink to a subatomic size. Or sizes. Representing DC, we have Firestorm. And representing Marvel, we have Ant-Man. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Firestorm versus Ant-Man. Firestorm possesses superhuman strength, endurance, speed, durability, senses, self-sustenance, nucleokinesis, nuclear pyrokinesis, flight, transmutation, total conversion, gestalt form, intangibility, genius-level intellect, matter and energy manipulation, ancestral memory, and clairvoyance. Ant-Man possesses the ability to shrink to submicroscopic size and enter the subatomic universes, genius-level intellect, size shifting from nearly microscopic to 100 feet gigantic, the ability to transfer his size-shifting ability to other beings and objects, the use of pin particle discs that allow him to will himself and other objects to reduce in size or enlarge, maintain strength of a normal size in a shrunken state, helmet with a retractable plexiglass face shield and a limited air supply, telepathic communication with ants using a cybernetic helmet, and superhuman strength, stamina, durability, and mass in giant form. Who will win? This fight wouldn't last long at all. Firestorm would throw nuclear fire at Ant-Man, but the latter would shrink in order to dodge them. Ant-Man then punches Firestorm in a shrunken state. You'd think the fight would be over by then, but Ant-Man understands that the only way to truly win this fight is to separate Professor Martin Stein from Ronnie Raymond. At a subatomic state, Ant-Man enters Firestorm's body and soon finds his brain where the Firestorm Matrix is located. Ant-Man then finds both Raymond and Professor Stein, knocks out Professor Stein, and exits the body. All that's left now is Ronnie Raymond. Raymond angrily charges at Ant-Man, but the latter delivers a vicious clothesline to the former. Ant-Man wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that fight, and I'll have another fight for episode 259. Alright, now it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, before I go on with the Comically Speaking segment, there was one thing I failed to do at the beginning of the show, and that's talk about the superhero that I'm paying tribute to on this episode, and that's none other than the Merc with a Mouth, Deadpool. This is a Deadpool comic hero tee that I made, and I also had the Deadpool logo on the sleeves, and to go along with it, this Deadpool hat. Now, if you want your own Deadpool comic hero tee, I will make and sell these. The price for adult tees, it doesn't matter what size they are $17. For children, they're $10, and for infants, they're $5. So if you want your own Deadpool comic hero tee, let me know. Oh, by the way, this is the tee that got the most votes out of the first poll that I did. And the other tee was a Wolverine comic hero tee. I'm going to wear that on the next episode, 258. So as I said at the beginning of the show, it doesn't matter what tee, regardless of what tee you vote for. Even if it gets the least or most amounts of votes, I'm still going to wear it. All right, on to Comically Speaking. Now, there are 4 things we're going to talk about. The first thing, and this is pretty much all Marvel. The first thing is the character Nova will reportedly debut in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is part of Marvel Studios Phase 4. I'm looking forward to it. But there's just one thing that I hope. I just hope that Marvel does so much better with the entire Nova Corps, because the way they were portrayed in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, they just make them look like a complete joke. And I'm not saying that because John C. Reilly was one of them. I'm not saying that. It was just the way they looked. They didn't look like Novas at all. And I just hope that I just hope they actually look like a Nova, because Nova isn't just one character. It's not just Richard Rider or Sam Alexander. A Nova is part of a Nova Corps, just like in DC. A Green Lantern is a member of the Green Lantern Corps. Now, would I like John C. Reilly to be in another Marvel movie featuring the Nova Corps? Absolutely. I just want them to look almost close to the comics as possible. That's all. Now, more than likely, they're probably going to end up going with the Richard Rider. The main Nova they're going to go. They're going to probably go with is Richard Rider. Although, if they went with Sam Alexander, I wouldn't. That wouldn't disappoint me either. Because Sam Alexander was created for the show Ultimate Spider-Man, but all the writers and the editor-in-chief at Marvel liked the character so much that they incorporated him into the comics, and that's where he's been ever since. So yeah, Nova in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, all for that. All right, now the second thing, Marvel is reportedly eyeing John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, and Liam Hemsworth, the younger brother of Thor himself, Chris Hemsworth, to star as Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman, and the Human Torch, respectively, in their version of Fantastic Four. Of course, the last two versions of Fantastic Four were done with 20th Century Fox. But of course, 20th Century Fox was acquired by Disney, and now all the Marvel characters that were 20th Century Fox will be a part of Marvel Studios. And for the most part, now Krasinski and Emily Blunt playing Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman, respectively, I like that. I think that's great. Liam Hemsworth playing the Human Torch, I guess that's okay. I can kind of see it. My only concern is, who are they going to cast as the Thing? There were reports that they were thinking about getting Dwayne Johnson to do it. I don't know about that. I just can't see it. But we'll see how that develops. All right, now the third thing. Now, in the last episode, I talked about Ironheart, whose real name is Riri Williams, who is a character of the comics who made her debut in Civil War II, is going to be a part of Marvel Studios Phase 4. And I told y'all that I definitely approve of that, and I hope it. I mean, she has a great backstory on how she became Ironheart, and I hope it all works out. Now, for all you folks that disagree with it, I have news for you. Robert Downey Jr. wants the character Ironheart in the movie, and not just Ironheart, but the character that portrays her in the comics, Riri Williams. He said at a comics convention not too long ago, he stood on stage with Ironheart comics writer Eve Ewing, and has promoted and has given a thumbs up to the character being in part and replacing Iron Man. So all you folks that say that that's a bad idea, if Iron Man says it's a good idea, I think we should all agree with him, because Because let's just face it, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Alright, and speaking of which, this goes to the, this is my final topic on the segment. Robert Downey Jr.'s co-star in Avengers Endgame, Lexi Rain, who played Tony Stark's 5-year-old daughter, Morgan, has reportedly been bullied by certain fans. Now, y'all know my stance on bullying. Y'all know that I am a survivor of being bullied, and I'm an advocate against it. All you folks just need... I mean, I don't care what might have happened. I heard that there was a report that her parents were upset over the fact that... that there were fans upset over the fact that her parents wouldn't let her sign autographs or take pictures with it. What y'all need to understand is, even though she was a cast on the movie, she's a child first, and her parents know that, and they don't want to. And her parents, they must be doing a great job raising this little girl, because they must understand that even though she's a child actress, she's a child first. And my hat goes off to Lexi's parents. But for the rest of y'all, the folks that bully her, and it's mostly on social media, you ought to be ashamed of yourselves. I mean, all because her parents wouldn't let her get an autograph. Y'all need to understand that she's a child, and her parents don't want to thrust her into the spotlight if she doesn't want to be. More likely, as she gets older, we're gonna see her in a lot of other movies. So y'all need to leave her alone. But first, y'all need to apologize, and then you need to leave her alone. Because as far as I'm concerned, anyone who's a bully is a child just like her. You may be an adult in terms of age, but in terms of morale, you're just a child with a temper, and this needs to stop. Bullying has no place in society whatsoever. And there's probably folks saying, well, they need to grow a spine. No, you need to grow up. That's it for Comically Speaking. Let's get to the books I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Alright, first up is Spider-Gwen number 6. Well, Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider number 6, rather. Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider number 7. Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider number 8. Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider number 9. Young Justice number 6. Batman number 72. The Green Lantern number 8. Justice League number 25. Shazam number 6. Tony Stark Iron Man number 12. Uncanny X-Men number 19. Deadpool number 7. Deadpool number 10. Deadpool number 11. Deadpool number 12. Deadpool number 13. And finally, The War of the Realms, number 5. Alright, that's 13, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 9,372. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Here's a question for a free tee for episode 258, which I'm doing later this week. What is the Asgardians' rite of passage to any of the other 9 realms? Everyone who answers correctly will be in a drawing for a free tee on episode 258, which I'm doing later this week. Now, in this episode, or a Deadpool comic hero tee. Now, last week I had y'all vote between this one and Wolverine. So Wolverine will be the one I'll wear on episode 258 this week. Really love what I'm doing with this summer of superheroes. I hope y'all are enjoying this. I mean, it's just something that it just came to me, and just like, you know, doing 2 episodes a week just came to me. But I'm not gonna I'm not gonna bore y'all with the same segments on every episode. It's gonna be a different segment on, you know, both episodes a week, and I just hope y'all enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy doing this show. I enjoy sharing my love of comics and anything within the realm, and yeah. Alright, I'm Victor Nolly on a Comic Hero. I'll see you later this week for episode 258. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and chimichangas!